음. 확실히 스팀이 이게 클라우드가 지원이 되니까 본가에서 하던 것도 진도가 그대로 저장이 돼서 너무 좋고요. 이제 패드로 할 수 있다. 현지. 그때 맞아. 에비 그레인저 어쩌고 저택 사건. 가정폭력범 사건에 얽힌 낭만적인 배경. 엄밀히 말하면 조금 불륜이기는 한데 아무튼 여미새 새끼들 구금자들 사이에서 인기를 끊었대. 죗값은 잘 받고 살아가고 있나 보네. 이 구원자들이 꼬이는 이유는 명성과 재산 때문이라고. 그치, 어쨌든 남편 재산은 그대로 부인 거일 거 아니야. 아우 자꾸 떨어져 안 돼. 일단 식물을 찾으러 가야겠군요. 홈즈가 읽고 있는 책 제목이 크라임 앤 퍼니시먼트였네. 오,
Well, Holmes, here we are at the Royal Botanic Gardens. There's no doubt that this place is beautiful. But are you really intent on investigating the theft of the plants?
Yes, of course.
깻잎은 왜 이렇게 맛있지? 밥도둑이야.
What do we do?
Let us find someone who could help us.
Don't touch anything else, is that clear? Just go and get a bucket of fertilizer. And without turning it over this time. Good day to you, gentlemen. How may I help you? If you are here for a visit, please do come back on Sunday.
I am afraid that it cannot wait. My name is Sherlock Holmes, and this is my friend and colleague, Dr. Watson. We are investigating the theft of plants that took place here 5 days ago. A remarkable collection, I believe.
So you're the one in charge, eh?
A small favour for a friend. Now, to whom do I have the pleasure of speaking?
I am Martin Hamish. I am the Deputy Director of Kew Gardens. And that fellow yonder is Albert. He works here.
I am delighted to meet you. What can you tell us about the plants?
They were rare and exceptional plants. We presented them at our last exhibition. We haven't removed the stand yet. It is still in the large glass house. We only learned of their disappearance the evening after the exhibition, and nobody saw anything.
No doors were forced?
No, but I would imagine that for a thief it would be fairly easy to gain entry, for there are no guards here.
Well, if you don't mind, we will take a look. Now, you say that it is in the large glass house.
Yes, the one just behind me. Just a second, since Albert has nothing else to do. Albert, show these gentlemen where the exhibition was held.
How many people work here?
Only myself, but occasionally 2 students, Albert, whom you have met, and Miss White.
Here it is. This is the place where the stolen plants were exhibited.
Thank you. Is there something the matter?
Yes, there is. All right, the plants were valuable and rare, but it seems to me that the tragedy that took place here only 2 days ago has been entirely forgotten already.
What tragedy are you referring to?
The director of Kew Gardens,
Oh.
Mr. Montague Dunn, he died here just 2 days ago.
We're very sorry.
조금 슬픈
Not
일인걸?
aware. The two of you were good friends?
He
어?
was my father.
Oh dear. Our condolences. We should not be troubling you. Please do excuse
미안.
us for the intrusion.
나도 미안.
You say that he died here, in the large glass house.
Holmes?
Yes, just here, near the door to the colonial collection. He suffered a heart attack. Just like that. So suddenly. It was terrible. Excuse me, gentlemen, but I cannot remain here. If you need me, I'll be in the reserve. That's the room next to the front of the large greenhouse.
Of course, we understand.
Do not touch.
According to Albert, this is where his father, Montague Dunn, was found dead. The traces are thinner in some places. These boot marks are fresh. It appears as though someone was dragging their feet. The footprints reveal that someone staggered here.
뭐가 또 있어? 아하.
The door was smashed at shoulder height. This door handle is new. It was recently changed. Soil. It should have come from a flower pot. The soil on the side of this flower shelf is the same as that on the ground. Fragments of a flower pot. It fell down here. This pot was broken fairly recently. A flower pot recently fell down from these shelves and was misplaced. The esconsent was breached near the handle. The door was forced from the inside of the Colonial Collection room. The handle was changed afterwards.
I think we need to inspect the Colonial Collection.
이쪽인가?
Very strange. Half of the Colonial Collection is absent. According to this, they have light and moisture control in some parts of the building. These windows were perfectly cleaned.
뭐가 또 남았노? 바닥?
The smell is strong. It is a detergent. This broken fragment was the result of a heavy blow. A fragment of marble, most likely chipped from a statue or sculpture. part of this greenhouse was emptied and thoroughly cleaned.
오른쪽 가는 차
These
있는데
plants
왼쪽
come
가는
from
비어
all
있는
the
거구나.
territories of the British Empire.
싱가포르.
Blood. This sign is broken. Something heavy was dropped upon it. Someone fell violently against this sign, and they were injured in the clash, most likely a head wound. All the clues around here are quite suspicious. I need my imagination to make sense of it all.
조사하는 게 뭐가 이렇게 금방금방 되지? 아, 또 순서 맞추기? 뭐 문을 부수고 화분을 떨어뜨리고 1번이 뭔데? 아, 문을 부쉈다. 부수고 화분을 떨어뜨리고 쓰러졌겠지. 근데 이거 소리가 왜 안 나지? 나네.
This reconstruction reveals a disturbing fact. Montague Dunn damaged the door of the Colonial Collection Room.
He was in a panic, or the door was locked. Was it an accident, or a murder then, I wonder?
오늘도 양배추즙.
What?
그러게요. 나는 계획이 없는데. 오, 열린다.
These trees, with their roots in water, must originate from Louisiana.
Ah, yes, the bayou. I remember our visit in the case of the Awakened.
나만 모르는 얘기하지 마라.
Here is a list of the stolen plants.
Do
The plants were here. All of them was stolen.
여기는 다 끝난 것 같고요. 그러면
Water lily greenhouse. According to this, they have light and moisture control in some parts of the building. Dry tropics.
what?
와.
These flower pots are beautiful. They are intended to be used for exhibition purposes. The symbol is not from Kew Gardens.
여긴 또 어디야?
Dry tropics. There is a smell of burning.
와우. 어떤 놈이야? 누가 이거 태웠어?
The symbol is not from Kew Gardens. A protective mask. Someone set it alight, but it did not burn. A door handle? Why would anyone throw such a thing in the fire? The door handle to the Colonial Collection and that of the fireplace are made of the same material. The plants were set alight fairly recently. Some have not completely burned. A broom handle was half burned. The remains of a picture frame.
불은 안 꺼? 아니 들어간데 일로 들어왔다고 나가지도 못하네. 아이씨.
Colonial Collection. Water lily greenhouse. Dry tropics.
지금 여기 있고.
Ventilation system.
오.
Seed house. Nursery. Director's office, cloakroom, and laboratory. Farmhouse. A map of Kew Gardens.
끝? 얘는 뭐 지도라서 조사 다 했는데도 뭐가 안 뜨는 건가? 됐다. 아닌데. 뭔가 조사 안 한 게 있나 본데. 아하.
Reserve.
환기 장치.
A water tank. A ventilation system. It should regulate the temperature of the staff buildings.
할 일을 주는 거야? 그렇군.
I asked Inspector Lestrade to take Montague Dunn's body to Scotland Yard.
It's ready for autopsy then.
First of all, let us carry out an external examination. There is an injury to the skull, most probably caused by the fall in the water lily greenhouse. The vessels and the pupil of the eye appear quite normal. The air from the lungs carries a faint floral aroma. There are no suspicious marks upon the chest. Let us finish our external examination so that we can proceed with the autopsy. No redness, stings, or bruises. Nothing suspicious here. Now, let us examine the internal organs.
Oh.
The heart's blood vessels show no pathological signs. The heart tissue shows no visible pathological signs. The lungs are congested and edematous.
Oh.
The tissue on the inferior lobe of the right lung is damaged, most probably caused by toxins from an unknown plant. The liver is enlarged. It would seem that he was suffering from an alcohol addiction. The liver tissue is brown. There are no visible pathological signs. The stomach tissues show no visible pathological signs. There is a small amount of content. It appears that he breakfasted lightly, only a short while before his death. My suspicions have been substantiated. Montague Dunn, the director of Kew Gardens, died from poisoning, plant poisoning to be more exact.
You mean
Yes, it is murder.
we should inform Lestrade?
Yes, but do remember, Watson, that I discovered the murder. The challenge is mine.
The challenge, Holmes?
We need to locate that deadly plant. Such a perfect murder appeals to me.
Murder of any kind appeals to you. Is that all we need to do?
No, we also have the people working at Kew Gardens. Martin Hamish and the son of the victim, Albert Dunn.
And also Miss White, of whom we spoke with Mr. Hamish. Should we bring them all here for interrogation?
No, a few innocuous questions at Kew will suffice, as well as a discreet delve into their personal affairs. Yes, Watson, it is time now to open the doors.
Even those in the staff building? I suppose that is necessary.
We should also be concerned with the victim himself. After all, we don't know very much about Montague Dunn.
You're enjoying this already, aren't you?
More than a little.
왜 이렇게 로딩이 오래 걸리냐? 맵이 넓어서 그런가 볼까?
Mr. Hamish, can you explain to us what happened to the colonial collection? It seems somewhat depleted.
But, most likely maintenance work, tidying up.
You're not sure, then? But you're the deputy director.
Well, I am busy. I cannot be everywhere at once.
Albert told us about the tragic death of Mr. Dunn, the late director of Kew Gardens.
Tragic indeed. His heart attack was quite unexpected.
As deputy director, how was your relationship with Montague Dunn?
To be honest with you, Mr. Holmes, it could have been better. You see, every Tuesday he would carry out his inspection of the gardens, but it was solely to make an impression. Great pretense that he cared at all. He would give out absurd orders, ignoring anyone else's opinion. He would then disappear for the rest of the week. He was what some might call a man of action. I'd say rather he was overzealous and chaotic. So after all, it was no wonder, perhaps, that he ended up like that, if you take into consideration his kind of lifestyle.
You mentioned that Mr. Dunn led a particular lifestyle.
Well, it's no secret that he enjoyed, celebrating, shall we say? He was a member of the London Smart Set. He was famous for it. That and...
And...
he had an eye for the ladies, to put it mildly, Mr. Holmes.
Tell me, Mr. Hamish, do you grow the more deadly variety of plant here?
You mean insectivorous? Yes, but nothing larger than that.
Thank you, Mr. Hamish. We shall continue our investigation. Locked.
응.
Locked. Nursery. Locked.
아니? 그럼 뭘 조사하라는 거야? 다 잠겨 있는데. 여기도 잠겨 있을 거 아니야. 어? 아니네. 여기가 어디고? 공자 보관실, 묘목장은 잠겨 있었고, 이쪽이 묘목실.
Nursery. Locked.
공자 보관실.
Seed house. Locked.
야! 이쪽도 잠겨 있겠지요?
Seed. Locked.
왜 이렇게 아까 아무것도 없었는데?
A ventilation system.
뭔가 단서를 좀 찾아와야 하나? 나와, 이 자식아. 여긴 조사 다 했고. 와우. 뭘 해야 되지?
According to this, they have light and moisture control in some parts of the building. Water lily greenhouse. According to this, they have light and moisture control in some parts of the building.
Can I help you, gentlemen?
도와줄 거 많지. 네 얘기도 들어야 되고.
Who is Miss Margaret White?
Ah, she is the young lady who studies with me. She visits here sometimes to help out with the greenhouses. In fact, she should be here today. She wanted to work at the seed house. That's the small greenhouse across from the large glass house.
Do you work here?
Yes, but part-time only, for I'm also studying botany at the University of London.
You're following in your father's footsteps, then. That is commendable.
Well, even if botany is not my strongest suit, there are people who say that I could be a good manager.
We noticed that a part of the colonial collection has been cleared.
Ah, at the moment I'm just dealing with the storage room. I don't know much about the other rooms.
I imagine that your relationship with your father may have been a strained one.
Yes. I cannot say that he was a kind man, for he never listened to me at all. He forced me to work here.
꼰대였구나.
Now, after his death, I've been pondering it over. Perhaps he wasn't so wrong about me after all. I have to follow his path, and I have to manage Kew Gardens, and I can do it. I can be as good as any other who works here.
Would you please tell us about Martin Hamish, the deputy director?
Well, I have to tell you that Mr. Hamish is not and has never been the deputy director of Kew Gardens. My father would not have tolerated it.
Indeed? That is most interesting. He told us that he was.
Yes, because he believes that the management should be passed down to him now that my father is dead. But in actual fact, Mr. Hamish only has the honour of being the garden's longest-serving employee. In fact, if we are to think logically at all, it should be me who takes over the management of Kew Gardens.
Do you not have a good relationship with Mr. Hamish?
I suppose so. But we have very little in common. Mr. Hamish loves his plants and Kew Gardens, and I cannot say that I share his passion.
I see. And how was his relationship with your father?
Oh, he hated my father. It was obvious. He would be furious whenever my father boasted of Kew Gardens in the newspapers or at conferences. He was convinced that my father was stealing all of the credit for himself. That my father treated Mr. Hamish in the same way as he treated anyone. Dismissively. With indifference.
Do you hold the keys to all of these locked doors?
Yes, you can have them. But I cannot give you the keys to the cloakroom. The employees' effects are private. I am sure you understand.
Thank you, young man. We shall see you again soon.
Thank you. 그러면 다시 한 바퀴를 돌아서 왔는데 바로 옆에가 직원 그거고 여기 말고 다른 데 뭐 묘목장이나 이런 데는 이제 들어갈 수 있다는 얘기지. 설마 이걸 아빠를 이렇게 하진 않았겠지. 가보자고. 이렇게 안 되겠지만. 어? 되네? 되잖아. 뭐지? 3,5천원 되는 거야? 그렇군. 그럼 어디를 안 열어준다는 거였지? 사무처, 재배용 온실. 기품실. 뭐지? 어디 빼고 놨는지 모르겠네. 아무튼 열렸으니까 털어보죠.
Champagne. Montague Dunn had good taste. French wine. A remarkable vintage. Newspapers discussing Kew Gardens.
새로운 식물종을 발견했다. 뭐지? 뭘 못 찾은 거야? 아, 편지. 헐, 떠나는 편이 좋겠다는 결론을 내렸네. 혼자 힘으로 살아보게나. 왜 이렇게 못된 말을 해? 뭐지? 두 개씩? 아니네. 두 개, 두 개, 세 개. 점점 한 개씩 늘려가면 되려나? 세 개, 세 개, 네 개. 아, 아니네. 다섯 개까지요. 아, 근데 도전과제 깨가지고 스킵해도 되기는 해요. 어차피 이제 남은 거 다 스킵해도 이미 도전과제는 얻을 거 다 얻어가지고. 아, 5개가 딱 남네. 예. 어디 보자. 무엇을 숨겨놓았나. 마지막으로 전하겠소. 빌려간 식물들을 당장 내놔라. 네 거도 아닌 거를 왜 숨겨놨냐. 전부 거짓말이었구만. 혐오스럽기 그지 없구만. 아무튼 이거를 금고에다 숨겨놔? 이거 아주
I
나쁜
suggest that we
놈인데.
don't tell Miss Margaret White about this document.
몬테규에게 대출받은 마가렛 화이트의 부채, 임대료, 학비, 융자금 좀 많은데? 숨겨놓은 게 있나? 편지를 받고 실망감을 감출 수가 없었네. 신성연구회라는 조직은 희귀 식물을 소유할 권리가 없는 곳일세. 뭔가 아무튼 이해관계가 좀 충돌을 좀 하는 모양인데.
What should we do next, Holmes?
여기서 옆으로 넘어갈 수 있나? 아우 저 왓슨 저거 저 길막새끼죠. 나와 좀.
A photograph
사진.
of Montague Dunn and Reynold Hamish.
아니 왜 또 여기 서 있어? 나와. 거울인가? 아 조사 안 되네.
There was a bottle here. It left behind a trace of the substance that pervaded the laboratory. Several drops of the substance were spilled. Someone carried this bottle around. Several drops of the substance.
Gold dust? Good heavens. What's it doing here?
The gold is almost immune to chemical attacks, so it may be a valuable auxiliary for various experiments.
But why would anyone perform such experiments in a botanical garden?
The bottle is no longer here, but it is possible to detect a faint scent. We need a good
동생이
nose.
이번에도 호비를 데려와라.
Locked.
Holmes, Albert Dunn didn't give us the key to this door.
아
It
여기
does not
사이가 이제
matter.
직원
We will open it.
휴게소구나. 헐 열쇠 못 받아서 따버린다고? 악당 쉐키. 얘는 또 뭐지? 이 화살표는? 왜 이렇게 복잡해? 이거 아까 스킵 마려운데 진짜. 아. 일단 요거 맞추는 거는 맞는 것 같고. 이건가? 나이스.
Open.
오프. 가즈아. 열쇠를 주든 말든 따버리면 그만.
Miss
하하하하.
White's locker. Apparently, Miss White is a capable student. A draft of the letter that Miss White sent to her parents.
부모님께 학비와 임대료가 비싸군요. 부모님한테 학비를 요청했군.
These jewels must be worth a small
잘
fortune.
사는 집안이었나 본데 그러면 부모님한테 달라 그럴 게 아니라 저것만 팔아도 되겠다.
A vanity purse. It is of high quality.
편지를 받고 놀랐단다. 연락도 끊고 잠적하더니 돈을 달라고? 상류층 집안이 아니었던 가족을 부끄러워하지 않았냐? 부탁은 거절하마. 오. 이번엔 또 얘가 또, 아들내미는 또, 아들내미가 저 여자를 좋아해가지고 원장이 쫓아보내려고 그랬던 건가?
Martin
떨어지라고?
Hamish's locker.
그랬을 수 있지.
Martin Hamish studied chemistry. Interesting.
지금 부원장 쉐기 지금 원장 죽자마자 바로 지금 자기한테 원장 자리 달라고 한 거네.
A review on rare and exotic plants. Martin Hamish has written several pieces. Father and I, Kew Gardens.
아니 자꾸 왜 이쪽에 열려 짜증나게. 아들내미 거 볼
Albert's
거야.
locker. Young Albert, standing with a woman in front of London University. Young specialist articles on shipyards and ship
얘는
construction.
전공이
Albert
배였나?
Dunn has a great passion for shipbuilding and the sea.
아
A
불합격.
rejection letter from the British Royal Naval College.
훌륭한 성적을 거뒀지만 진학을 할 수 없게 되었군. 아 아빠가 또 손 썼네. 좀 일단 여기서 볼 거는 봤고요.
A botany book. This student's book belongs to Albert. Chemicals, a sufficient
뭐가
quantity for
이렇게
some
많아.
serious experiments.
A phonograph used for voice recording. Remarkable.
Yes, this is quite a modern laboratory.
뭐야, 아까 띄우는 거 떴는데? 이휴.
Martin Hamish's perception of plants. The notion of communication in the plant world has long been considered marginal, yet I remain convinced that some plants do indeed transmit chemical signals in the event of attack.
A study report by Martin Hamish.
And it seems clear from these multiple experiments that plants do respond to their environment and have a form of consciousness. Margaret White, February 1895. Report number 245.
Study report.
뭘 또 찾아와야 되네.
This is a table for experiments. It resembles my own.
Only this one is kept in good order, Holmes.
아, 마틴 해미쉬의 사진이. 아, 아까 해미쉬라는 사람이 다른 해미쉬가 또 있었는데, 쟤도 아버지 때부터 식물원에서 일했던 사람인가 보네. 그래, 여기. 마틴 해미쉬가 갖고 있던 사진. 찾아볼 게 좀 많네. 일단, 댕댕이 데리러. 오, 조사할 게 꽤 많네. 얘는 백과사전에서 찾아야 될 것 같은데. 오,
Here it is.
다 독성식물이 도둑 맞은 것인가?
That is not the one I need.
상형 문자.
That
오, 한자인데 저거?
that
뭐지? 어디를 봐야 되지? 신문을 봐야 되나? 여기 있구나.
That is not the
응?
one I need.
모임? 뭐지? 뭐지?
That is
건너뛰기?
the Divine Syndicate is not a supplier to Kew Gardens. Besides, there is no address here.
아, 맹독식물? 아닌데. 이거였군.
That
이런 건 어디서 찾아?
that that that
얘도 신문에서 봐야 되나 또? 참.
that that
바닷가지. 너무 궁금한데. 아, 여기 있었구나. 이거 왜 못 보고 넘어갔지? 신성연구회? 이거 없네. 근데 얘는 또 어디서 찾나? 하...
that is that is
아니, 왜 이렇게 갑자기 찾기 힘들어졌지? 엥? 아니, 백과사전에 있다고? 아,
That is not that.
뭔데? 아무데도 안 나오잖아. 어이가 없네. (89년) 아 이거군.
Here it is. And here is the Divine Syndicate's address. Perfect. It is time
와,
to find
기초
out what they
알아냈다.
have against Montague Dunn.
얘는 찾을 수가 없는데. 지금 할 게 아닌가?
Someone should take Toby for a walk. Have you
바로
found something
나.
interesting?
Come
가자,
on,
멍멍아.
Toby. We have some work for you to do. Let us go to Kew Gardens.
아니 근데 얘가 일단 뜨는 걸로 봐서는 돼야 맞는데. 아, 보고서라는 게 있어? 이런 씨. 아. 아, 여기 있었구나. 신성연구회 아까 그거가.
That is not the one I need. That is
진짜.
not the one I need. That
예은장.
here it is.
아, 이걸 몰랐네. 신문하고 저것만 주고 장창 보고 있으니까 당연히 안 나오지. 씨.
This
이휴. 일단은 여기 마저 가서 멍멍이 내려가니까 또 이게 로딩 화면 다르네.
Let us take Toby to the laboratory. He will pick up the scent of this mysterious substance. Search, Toby. Search.
멍멍.
Congratulations, Toby. Now let us see what you have found. This is the bottle that was used in the laboratory. It was buried here. There is still some liquid remaining in the bottle, with gold flakes, a tiny caterpillar. Not surprising to see one in a garden,
아까
but
독
at the
쓸
bottom
때
of the
애벌레
bottle.
필요하다고 했는데.
Brave Toby, the best nose in the British Empire.
얘 다시 말 걸어야 돼.
What is your opinion of Albert as a student of botany?
He's useless. I often tell him so, and I can only give him cleaning tasks. Botany is not his life's work, and his father well knew it. He was furious about it.
He was.
Oh, yes. He forced his son to work here, and he never missed an opportunity to criticize him
거짓말하면
publicly.
못 쓴다. 아들
Are you
해군
able to
사관학교 가는
elaborate on
것도 못
that?
가게 막았는데.
Well, for example, with our last exhibition here, Mr. Dunn had Albert make a presentation speech. But then, while the lad was speaking, Mr. Dunn interrupted him, asking him difficult questions, making him look like a failure. It was with the intention of making a fool of him, Mr. Holmes.
That must have been terribly humiliating.
Yes, he was crushed, and he had to leave. Everybody was making fun of poor Albert. That is, except for Miss Margaret White, who is such a nice lady and who always takes pity on Albert.
You mentioned a Miss White. Would you tell us more about her?
She is a student who works here part-time. She is quite charming indeed. She possesses a great talent for botany. You should take a look at some of her experiments that she carried out in the laboratory. Ah, if only she were not so naive.
Why naive?
The way she used to flutter around Mr. Montague Dunn. And he couldn't help but be flattered by all her attention. How could an intelligent woman such as Miss White not see through his game? I can only scratch my head and wonder.
Mr. Hamish, was someone from your family connected with Kew Gardens?
Family? No. I'm the only one with a passion for botany.
아버지는?
I do not think so. This photograph of you and your father at Kew Gardens suggests the opposite.
But you have no right to.
Do tell us more about your father.
He was, indeed, the greatest botanist of his time in the British Empire. He worked together with Montague Dunn until the end of his life. He brought me in at the age of 12.
Did he get on well with Mr. Dunn?
No, I couldn't say that. They expanded Kew Gardens together, that was all. And it was all my father's work, for Dunn always lived the high life.
So Mr. Dunn was not helping your father?
Oh, yes, he provided the financial support. And as far as he was concerned, that fulfilled his role. But the worst of it was, he declared himself as the master of Kew Gardens. Fame meant nothing to my father, so it was easy for Mr. Dunn to take all the credit.
Are you aware of the Divine Syndicate?
The Divine what? Is this a joke?
No, I am quite serious.
What a ridiculous name. Anyway, I have never heard of this syndicate.
Thank you, Mr. Hamish. We shall continue our investigation.
뭔가 많이 생겼네요. 아들내미하고도 얘기해봐야 되고.
I perceive that you are passionate about the Royal Navy.
Passionate? No, not really. I like ships, that is all.
Are you quite sure? You do not seem to be so interested in plants.
It's difficult, that's all. My future is here. It has never been about anything else.
And yet I know that the Royal Naval College rejected your application.
Ah, you truly are as clever as they say. Yes, that's correct. And in fact, my father was strongly against the idea. He did his best to ruin my plans, although I almost did succeed. But my dreams were shattered, Mr. Holmes.
Tell me, have you ever heard of the Divine Syndicate?
No, I cannot say that I have.
Thank you, young man. We shall see you again soon. Palm House.
그러면은 그 소문의 미스터랜다 미스 화이트를 만나러 가야겠죠? 공자보관실은 직진. 여기였나? 아까 잠겨있어서 못 갔네. 맞네.
Locked.
열쇠를 열 거야. 아, 여긴 묘목장이구나. 옆에가 종자보관소였나? 뭐 쭉 다 보면 되지 뭐.
These young plants must be delicate if they are kept in the nursery. A thesis written by Martin Hamish. A glasses case. It is empty. This area serves as Martin Hamish's office. An award presented to Martin Hamish for Best Grower of the Year. A master's degree diploma. It belongs to Martin Hamish.
척척 석사. 금속 조각?
It is a bust of Montague Dunn.
뭐지? 어디를 가야 돼? 뭐지? 아, 여기 있다.
I am curious if the marble that we found will fit this place. Here it is. The marble fragment that we found in the Colonial Collection Room is what they have in common. The seeds of plant species are stored here.
여기 볼 게 없나? 없네. 아, 여기가 정자보관실이고. 하이. 반갑습니다.
Good day to you, miss. You have some very beautiful plants here.
Why, thank you, sir.
어,
And
여기
good day to you too.
역캐들은 왜
But
이렇게
Oh, I
예쁘게
do beg your pardon. My
모델링했지?
name is Dr. John Watson. This is my good friend, Mr. Sherlock Holmes.
I am honored to make your acquaintance, gentlemen. My name is Margaret White. Excuse me, but are you Sherlock Holmes, the great detective?
Yes, I am he.
What a pleasure to see you here at Kew Gardens. Are you working on a case?
손이 왜 이렇게 빨개? 아. 그럼 아까 그 보석 같은 것도 얘네 집안 그게 아니고 막 선물 받은 건가? 아까 아들내미가 막 학비도 대준다고 막 그러고 있더만. 또 어디를 찾아야 되지? 미혼?
Yes, a theft of plants that took place here a few days ago after their most recent exhibition.
Oh, yes, of course. I quite forgot about that.
Oh, it's quite understandable that you might forget about the theft of the plants, miss, after the tragedy that took place here.
Yes. The director was a truly good man. It is such a terrible misfortune.
안녕 넣을 때가 됐구나. 어딨지? 어? 아이고, 떨어뜨렸구나.
Would you happen to know why part of the colonial collection was cleared?
No, I have never been there.
Do you work here?
Part-time only. I am a biology student at the London University. I attend the same classes as the son of Mr. Montague Dunn. That is how I found my chance to work here for part of my thesis, you see. It is a great honor.
How well did you know Mr. Montague Dunn?
He was a master, a great leader. I saw him almost as a spiritual father.
He had an exceptional nature?
Oh yes, indeed. He was always so active and so optimistic and very nice to me. Although he could behave harshly towards his son.
Why so?
He loved his son dearly and wanted the very best for him. It made him extremely demanding. Albert, who is naturally shy, suffered because of it.
Most of the doors in Kew Gardens are locked. Do you have a key to this room?
Oh, yes. Albert gave me a set of duplicate keys. He agreed I might carry out my studies without disturbing him. It is only temporary.
The Divine Syndicate. Does that name mean anything to you, by any chance?
Not at all. But it is a very pretty name.
Thank you, miss. None of the 3 people who work at Kew Gardens know why half of the colonial collection was cleared. So, someone is lying. It is obvious. These leather gloves are new and of good quality. They do not appear to have been used. Materials for college study. They belong to Albert. This place serves as Albert's office. A book about ships. Nothing at all to do with plants. From here, we are unable to see the interior of the Colonial Collection Room. This is one of the outlets of the ventilation system.
딱히 볼만한 건 없네요.
There is a bust of Montague Dunn in the nursery.
A bust? Oh, that old thing. Further proof of that outrageous ego of his.
But why in that room in particular?
Oh, I don't know. It has always been there.
It is strange, because I recovered a fragment of the bust inside the Colonial Collection Room.
Really? Oh, well, so I am mistaken. It ought to have been removed during the cleanup. This room is so small.
Do you know who moved it?
I have no idea. Surely Mr. Dunn requested it. Do you have any more questions like this? Because fragments of rock are not my responsibility.
Evidently. Thank you, Mr. Hamish. We shall continue our investigation.
다들은 뭐 알고 있는 거 없나?
Excuse me, but I have to tidy up this room.
여기서 확인할 거는 웬만큼 다 한 거 같고요. 일단은 여기를
If
한번
I go
가보죠.
there, Toby will wait for me in the cab.
집에 데려다 놓고 갔어야 됐나?
This place is beautiful, Holmes. Its atmosphere is remarkably soothing.
Let us find someone who could help us.
안녕하십니까?
Good day to you, sir. My name is Sherlock.
I am exalting the sap. A while can you wait? From the trace of elements and moreover from the quality of the ambient geotropism it depends. Therefore,
이게 웅얼웅얼 말하네.
please, mind my gravitropism. Its balance do not disturb.
Disturbed is most definitely the word.
There. Completed is the symbiosis. Welcome you are. To introduce myself, I am the Green Grand Mystic.
The Green Grand Mystic himself.
This is me. Who am I speaking to?
We are two gentlemen who are extremely interested in the vegetation philosophy that is advocated by this establishment.
Listening to you, I am.
We should like to take a look around, to immerse ourselves in the wisdom that emanates from here.
It is a school of anastomosis, the divine scholastic syndicate for vegetation veneration and meditation. You may say, the divine syndicate, glory to the eukaryotic. Only true devotees, those whose hearts are ready to spermatophize in sharing of knowledge, are permitted to physically enter our vegetable kingdom and its wisdom. And to be permitted, you must earn it. Yes.
Green Grand Mystic, we are ready to become devotees and gain access to your temple.
What is the name of our Lord, our God King?
Our God King's name is Treewan, Green Grand Mystic.
Oh la, good, I like you. Here is the holy key to the wisdom place. Holy donation can you make whenever you so wish.
Thank you so much.
I pray you to taste our fertilizer substance. From the burdens of life it helps to free.
But of course.
Raw sap, it is called. It is near the entrance.
We visited Kew Gardens, and we found your symbols on their flower pots.
Coincidence, I am thinking. They would scavenge our refuse. It would not surprise me.
It was merely an observation. Well, we will leave you to your meditation.
우와. 소리 나네. 또인가?
The Kew Gardens symbol.
화분 뭔가 인장이 서로 바뀌었네.
Fragments of a flower pot. It fell down here. A fragment of a flower pot.
이 종은 왜 안 타죠? 와. 좀 멋있는데?
You came to make a donation? Glory to Treewan!
This must be Treewan, the Divine Syndicate's god.
진짜 나무왕이네.
This door is locked, but I can try to open it.
이건가? 아닌데. 이거는 맞는 것 같고. 야호.
These instruments are used
아,
for
여기
smoking
이번에도
opium.
아편굴 나오네.
This cabinet is full of chemicals. They are the same as the ones we found in the laboratory at Kew Gardens.
뭔가 여기도 더 찾아와야 되나 보네요.
That would be enough to perform the most difficult of chemical experiments. A vast amount of opium. The list of plant friends and benefactors, lawyers, well-known manufacturers, political leaders.
화분 한번 다시 물어보고 대답 안 하면 오.
Do you have friends at Kew Gardens?
None. Not worthy there.
Nevertheless, we have seen Kew Gardens flower pots in your yard. How could they happen to be there?
What? Our sacred place you permitted yourself to search.
No, really now. There was a theft of plants at Kew Gardens a matter of days ago, and we believe the pots we found here may be connected with it. Please tell us, were you involved?
No,
Those plants were ours. They had stolen
Ah,
them from
맞아.
us.
식물 가지고서
Their
싸웠었지.
director, Dump, I believe.
Done.
Yes, that's what I said. He borrowed from us 3 of our sisters for the exhibition at his green fly-infested gardens. But he never gave them back to us. Excuses and imbecility. So we went in and saved them.
I see. So, if you stole those rare plants from them, then it means... Ah, I get it. Bravo, Holmes. I think the case is solved.
No, we did not steal. We saved.
누가
Well, as a matter of
상식 친
fact, we were
사람이
unable to find
있었다는
our 3
건가?
plants.
I beg your pardon. And yet you took all of the exotic plants from the stand.
They had disappeared. It was the least we could do. They stole our sisters, and so we stole theirs.
Well, we will leave you to your meditation.
This green grand mystic fellow seems rather suspicious, Holmes. We should search every inch of this place.
느낌표 뜬 거 보니까 일단은 신성 연구에 그 사람을 범인으로 지목할 만큼은 단서가 모인 것 같은데. 요렇게. 그치. 일단은 아닐 것 같기는 한데 일단 요걸로 한번 해서 어떻게 되나 한번 보죠.
Green Grand Mystic, we have excellent news for you. Please come with us.
Praise the all-holy sap for having
가자,
spiritually
약쟁아.
pollinated us where we're going.
To a hospital, green grand mystic. We know what you did. Do not worry, you'll be treated well.
What? What are you talking about? A mistake over some plants? You are the ones who should be treated, you raging fools.
No, we are speaking of an altogether more serious crime.
I do not understand, and I refuse to move. And I suggest that you do not force me. I have a lot of influential followers. You should believe me.
Holmes, I could write a letter of recommendation to a special institution. I know the director there. But, as the mystic has said, his sect is powerful. And I'm not sure if I could be influential enough.
Well, with your writing talent and my persuasion, we can try our best to find a place for him. That is all we can do.
이제 댕댕이 데려다 놓고 조사할 거 조사하고. 아니 너까지 이러고 있으면 어떡해.
This green grand mystic fellow seems rather suspicious, Holmes. What should we do next, Holmes?
Let us determine just what we have found here. Let us pour liquid from the bottle into a test tube to perform an analysis. A colorless, water-based liquid. Quite a strong floral aroma.
마셔?
Holmes? What are you doing?
It has a bitter taste.
What if it's poisonous?
Did you ever see poison stored in enormous jars like that? Anyway, there is a doctor
미친놈아.
nearby.
진짜
So
독이었으면은
what do you think
해독
it
어떻게
is?
하려고
It
그거를
is some kind
마셔.
of organic compound. Let us vaporize the liquid and see what happens. Small colorless crystals. Colorless, tiny crystals that are soluble in water, with a floral smell and a bitter taste. Watson, could you pass me that small bottle, please?
Of course. Here you are. Holmes, do you know what it is?
Wagner's reagent. There was a label on the bottle that you passed to me.
No, Holmes, I meant the bottle that we found.
Let me add the reagent and see if there is any sediment, and then I shall tell you. I need to take a pipette. Red sediment, just as I suspected. This liquid is of organic origin. It contains some alkaloid. Most likely it is unstable, and that is why there is a quantity of gold dust to prevent contamination. This mixture is probably a fertilizer. Someone was carrying out unusual experiments in the garden's laboratory.
Follow my path, and better you will fear.
아까 그 실험실로 돌아가야 하나?
This substance is an alkaloid, the same as in the bottle we found in the bushes at Kew Gardens.
이제 다시 식물원으로. 아, 목을 써가지고 그 환기장치를 이용을 한 거구나.
Just be careful with the plants during your inspection.
뭔가 단서가 더 필요했던 부분이 있었는데 어디였더라? 아, 아직 못 찾았네. 허허, 뭘 해야 되지? 맹독 식물을 찾아야 돼. 누구야?
This poster is for an exhibition that Martin Hamish was directing, but it had nothing to do with Kew Gardens. This certificate belongs to Martin Hamish. He won a horticultural competition. We can see the interior of the Colonial Collection Room from this window. This is one of the outlets of the ventilation system.
이쯤에서 보면
A ventilation system.
아직도 안 되네. 뭘 해야지 또 얘기가 진행이 되려나? 얘 어디 갔어?
What?
여기 있던 게 아닌가? 여기 있구나.
Excuse me, but I have to tidy up this room.
Just be careful with the plants during your inspection.
뭘 해야 되지? 이번 사건에서 만날 수 있는 인물들을 이제 다 만났는데. 아, 단서를 조합해서 또 할 일을 찾아야 되나? 더 이상 연결할 수 있는 게 없는데. 뭐지? 뭘 찾아야 되지? 이 사건은 해결을 하고 싶은데.
Kew Gardens is such an exciting place. Wouldn't you agree?
From here, we are
뭐지? 뭘 찾아야 될까요?
the employee's cloakroom.
아, 뭐지? 뭐지? 경찰국? 뭔가 여기 남겨놓은 게 있으려나? 증거품 같은 거? 아까 부검만 해보긴 했거든요. 아, 있나 본데? 아이고, 이걸 이제
A
보네.
beautiful feather pen of a good make. A membership card for the London Crest Club. This watch is
부검하러
of
왔을
great
때 바로
value.
봤어야 됐는데. 설마 했지. 홍보용 벽고 전 직원을 언급할 필요 없고 자기 이름만 표기해달라고? 와, 진짜 쓰레기 새끼. 근데 그렇다고 해서 뭐 딱히 뭐가 진행이 될 것 같진 않은데?
Locked. Locked.
음... 음...
Follow my path, and better you will feel.
여기는 진짜 뭐 없는데.
The list of
You came to...
this. These instruments are used for smoking opium. This cabinet is full of chemicals.
아, 이쪽도 뭐가 있구나. 아, 이런. 아,
Caterpillars.
애벌레.
They are raised as food for certain
이런.
plants. Let's take them.
아,
A tropical plant. Nothing of interest. A tropical plant. Nothing of interest.
그래도 이 정도면 뭐 별로 안 헤맨 셈
A tropical
쳐야죠.
plant. Nothing of interest. A tropical plant. Nothing of interest. A tropical plant. Nothing of interest. A tropical plant. Nothing of interest.
식물이 왜 이렇게 많아?
These three plants are identical to the ones shown at the
쓱싹.
exhibition. I shall take them.
드디어. 식물원에 가져가면 되려나? 아니 이걸 여기서 하는 거네.
Perfect,
여기까지
Watson.
왔는데.
We can begin our experiment.
아닌가? 여기서 실험을 하는 건가?
I imagine that one of these plants would be capable of releasing a toxic vapor. I need to find out exactly how it could be done. I shall begin now. Watson, if you are at all optimistic to have dinner this evening, then I'd recommend that you put on the gas mask.
뭔데? 아,
A carnivorous plant. A prickly plant. This is a strange and unusual plant. I find the behavior of predators utterly fascinating.
oh shit.
This plant seems to have had no reaction from the caterpillars.
바늘로 찌르면
No reaction. My word! It shot a spike at me after I stabbed it with a pin. I imagined that its reaction would be ferocious if I increased the strength of my attack. It appears to have fallen inactive after being disturbed.
보자.
This plant becomes inactive after being drenched with alkaloid. This plant becomes inactive after being drenched with alkaloid. It appears to open after being soaked with alkaloid.
이 상태에서 벌레를 놓으면
This plant seems to have had no reaction from the caterpillars.
바늘은
It closed again. I believe I saw a small cloud of gas. I wonder what secrets this plant is hiding. Perhaps if we agitate it to a greater extent whilst it is opened, it will reveal a little more.
얘를 구워서 잎을 펼친 상태에서
It appears to open after being soaked with alkaloid.
애벌레를 여기다가 놓으면
Toxic gas with spores. Extraordinary. The plants would be capable of killing only if they were directly next to the victim and stimulated at precisely the right moment.
Let us take our caterpillars to the Colonial Collection Room. We may see things more clearly there.
It is too early, Watson. Our suspects will be there. Let us investigate Kew Gardens one more time and ask some questions.
그렇다면 큐 왕립 식물원을 다시 가서 애들 신문도 한번 싹 돌리고 하라는 얘기네요. 오늘 왜 이렇게 눈이 뻑뻑하지? 어제보다 더 초점이 안 맞는 것 같은데. 실험을 진행하기에 앞서 용의자들과 대화부터 나누십시오.
Can you tell me if you saw Mr. Montague Dunn on the day of his death?
Yes, of course. I met him.
아,
We went to see
그러면은
Albert, his son, at
거기부터
around
갔다 왔어야
9:30.
됐네. 아, 이런.
He appeared quite calm.
What were you doing on the morning of
신성
the
머시기.
accident?
거기를
After
먼저
paying
갔어야 됐네.
multiple visits to Albert, I had a little talk with Miss White. Then I returned to my desk to complete some paperwork. Suddenly, I observed that Mr. Dunn was not feeling well, so I ran immediately to fetch Albert. I clearly remember that it was around 10:30, for I was late that morning.
Thank you, Mr. Hamish. We shall continue our investigation.
한번 갔다 옵시다. 일단 말 한번 걸어놓고
Follow my
엥,
path, and
괜히
better
왔어.
you will feel.
로딩도 긴데. 그러면 다음은 아들내미.
Your father's death does seem highly suspicious. What were your movements here on that day?
Suspicious. Well, I was working in the seed house, taking care of something, or Lear Pontus, or... No, wait. Ah, these Latin names. And I spent so many hours trying to memorize them.
Did you see your father that day?
Yes, he came here with Mr. Hamish for his weekly visit. There was nothing unusual about that.
And then?
Nothing. They stepped out to the backyard. It was perhaps 20 minutes before 10 o'clock. Then about 10 minutes later, I saw my father heading for the dry tropics room while Mr. Hamish returned here.
And Mr. Hamish and Miss White, what were they both doing that morning?
Mr. Hamish visited me a couple of times. I also saw him returning from talking with Miss White, and that was at 10 minutes past 10. But then he ran back here to me to tell me that my father was feeling unwell. We hurried across to the water lily room, and I found my father lying dead on the floor. Oh, my God.
Thank you, young man. We shall see you again soon.
여기였나?
Can you tell me what Mr. Dunn was doing upon the day of his death?
I can, but there is nothing very special to say. I was in the laboratory when I saw Mr. Dunn heading towards me. Tuesday is the day of his weekly visit. It was supposed to be at 9, but he was 10 minutes late, as usual.
And then?
Well, he came in to say good morning. Then I saw him spend 2 or 3 minutes by the plants outside the laboratory. After that, he ran out in the direction of the nursery, where Mr. Hamish was working. He was always in a rush during the inspection, you see. I would pity anyone who stood in his way.
And that was the last time you saw him?
Yes. I stayed in the laboratory until 20 minutes to 11, when I heard the cries of Albert and Mr. Hamish from the large glass house.
I joined them as soon as I could, for I knew that something must be very wrong.
What exactly were you doing in the laboratory?
I was recording an experiment for my thesis. I only stopped my work once when Mr. Hamish visited me briefly around 10 o'clock.
You say you were recording an experiment when the tragedy occurred. Might I listen to the roll?
Certainly. Please do. You will find it in the laboratory. It is number 320.
Thank you, miss.
Everyone has gone, Holmes. The way is clear.
빠져나가서. 또 어디 있는데? 아, 여기도 있구나.
No, it wasn't like that.
소자를 들이마셨다. 그래서 이거랑 이거밖에 없어?
When Montague Dunn was standing close by the plants, the caterpillars were released and caused the deadly spores to activate. Panicking, and likely already half asphyxiated, Montague Dunn started back and knocked over the bust. He rushed to the door, but it was locked. He had to force it open with his shoulder. We already know the outcome. Montague Dunn collapsed and died not far from the pool. Well, it is time to perform our experiment on the ventilation system.
여기가 내다보이는 창문이 어디였었더라? 여기 마주보는 위치면
The caterpillars could only fall from the ventilation duct. Our caterpillars are in place. I'll activate the ventilation system so that they fall down. Watson, stay here and observe.
All right, Holmes.
These windows.
뭔데? 이거 왜 뜨는데? 아, 저걸 따라서 찾아가야 돼? 아이, 길 잘못 들은 것 같은데? 다시 돌아갑시다. 요 환풍기가 이어지는 데를 찾아야 되는데, 아, 일로가 또 돌아가는 것 같은데. 아, 인제 여기가 이게 되나 보다.
The power is on. The engine cannot be started whilst the transmission is active. The engine has started. The ventilation system is working.
다시 절로 들어가야 되나? 이쪽이란 얘기인가?
From here, we are unable. Excellent. This ventilation fan is working. Let us see if I can activate the other one.
뭔데? 뭐 해야 되는데?
We can see the interior of the Colonial Collection Room from this window.
아니,
We can
창문
see the
열고.
interior of the Colonial Collection Room from this window.
왓슨 여기 서 있는 거 보이네. 여기서 조절 장치를.
Perfect. Now I just need to find Watson to check the result.
It works perfectly, Holmes. Bravo. Now, if you could just help me to get rid of these caterpillars.
Perfect. Now we know how the murder of Montague Dunn was carried out, by activating both Albert's and Mr. Hamish's fans.
But only from Mr. Hamish's workplace would it be possible to see when Montague Dunn entered the Colonial Collection Room.
여기서 결론이 몇 개 나오는지만 확인을 해보겠습니다. 오 번 케이스도 단서 22개의 결론이 무려 6개나 되네요. 아까 하나는 찾았고, 이번에는 혜미 씨를 한번 이거 왜? 체포?
Let's go to
체포까지
Scotland
직접 해야
Yard.
돼? 할 일이 좀 많네요.
Inspector, I believe that Martin Hamish is guilty of the murder of Montague Dunn.
Aha! I knew it. I'll send the lads around to arrest him.
Very good. I shall wait to hear from you. Inspector, I came here as quickly as I could.
Martin Hamish is in the large glass house. There's no need to hurry.
이 새끼 어디 갔어?
What should we do next, Holmes?
대형 온실에 있다고? 대형 온실? 여긴가?
dry tropics.
요 어디 가서 찾아 얘를 또. 다 뒤져봐야 하나? 알려주세요.
Water.
Where are you? 나와. 아우 진짜. Hey, where are you?
Holmes, my God!
미쳤네.
Yes, we found him.
이런 씨.
Our messing around with the ventilation system didn't go unnoticed. Mr. Hamish realized that we knew.
Inspector, could you arrange the body, please? I should like to examine it.
어.
The mark around the neck is very visible. He died instantly.
손에 피를 묻힌 스스로를 용서할 수가 없다.
Holmes,
A club foot. Bravo, Watson. That is the key element of this case.
뭔데? 정강이 뒤틀림 때문에 뛸 수 없었다. 환기 장치를 작동시킬 만한 여유가 부족했던 것이다. 공범이 있었던 것으로 의심된다. 어우, 꽤 볼륨이 있구만, 이번 사건.
Something about this rings very oddly.
Why do you say that, Mr. Holmes?
Why? Because of Mr. Hamish's club foot. Oh, I deserve to be kicked from here to Charing Cross. I should have noticed it.
But, Mr. Holmes, I can't see why.
No, I don't suppose you do. You must recall that Mr. Dunn was locked inside the Colonial Collection Room by the murderer. If it was Mr. Hamish, he would have had to run up to his workplace to trigger the fan situated above it, taking into consideration the condition of his foot.
Well, it is still possible.
Perhaps, but it is rather strange that such a person as Mr. Hamish decided to base his plan on the speed of his gait.
you mean to say that somebody helped him?
So the suicide is questionable?
Correct. Mr. Hamish accuses only himself in his letter, and so the investigation stops.
Possibly an accomplice, then? That idea had not occurred to me, Mr.
자살
Holmes.
당했군.
I have another idea, Inspector. Thanks to the testimony that we have collected, we are able to rebuild the events as they took place that day.
With a timeline, such as we did in the Jack the Ripper case.
Precisely.
The map at the entrance of Kew Gardens should help us with our timeline.
Let us analyze the facts and
와우.
statements so that we may recreate the events of that
아,
morning.
글씨 작아서 나 지금 힘든데 지금. 어. 이거를 9시 30분경 마틴 해미쉬와 몬테규 더는 종자보관실에서 알버트를 만났다. 얘를 어디다가 놔야 되나? 초록색은 초록색 라인 위에다 놔야 되는 건가? 아홉 시 40분경 마틴 해미쉬와 몬테규더는 뒷뜰로 향했다. 그로부터 10분 후 9시 50분에 몬테규더는 열대식물관 쪽으로 순회를 계속했고 마틴 해미쉬는 종자보관실로 돌아왔다. 마틴 해미쉬는 마가렛 화이트와 10시경에 대화를 했다. 수상식물관에서 해미쉬와 알버트를 만난 거는 10시 40분. 몬테규더는 독살되었다. 요게 언제야? 이게 10시 반? 10시 30분경 몬테규는 던의 상태를 알아차린 마틴 해미쉬는 얘는 10시 10분경에 마가렛 화이트를 만나고 돌아온 해미쉬를 목격한 거는 10시 10분. 종자보관실. 그럼 얘도 같은 시각에 있겠죠?
Let us summarize. Montague Dunn was poisoned inside the Colonial Collection Room. He forced open the door, which means that someone locked him inside there at 10:20. Martin Hamish was last seen at 10:10. This means that he has approximately 10 minutes to lock the door of the Colonial Collection Room. Given that he was club-footed, it is doubtful. Albert also has 10 minutes to lock the door of the Colonial Collection Room, which is quite enough time. Miss White was last seen at 10 o'clock, which means that she had approximately 20 minutes to lock the door. More than enough time. Perfect, Watson. Now, let us ascertain who assisted Martin Hamish in killing Montague Dunn. Let us summarize. Martin Hamish, Miss. Perfect.
일단은 아빠 살인범이라는 거는 조금 너무 패륜이 아닐까 싶네요. 시간이 없었다면서 제목하고 내용하고 안 맞아 떨어지노. 일단은 이쪽으로 한번 가보죠. 정답이든 아니든 어차피 그 뭐냐 모든 결론을 다 봐야 되기 때문에 일단 지금은 X를 눌러서 선처하는 결론을 한번 보겠습니다.
But Holmes, how can you be certain that we'll find Miss White here?
It is obvious, Watson. Just use your brain.
I am using it. I do use it.
Now that the rope has tightened around Martin Hamish, Miss White must act to erase all traces of her implication. After the suicide of her accomplice, there is one final trace remaining: the deadly plants of the Divine Syndicate. She will be there.
Very good. Shall we go?
Just one moment. Now listen to me, Watson. I shall see her alone. You will conceal yourself behind her, quietly.
Whatever are you planning?
Nothing spectacular. The impulses of women have always been a mystery to me. But she is a bold one, and so we must be cautious.
All right. You can count on me, Holmes.
Mr. Holmes, good day to you.
You do not seem surprised, Miss White.
Well, I was expecting you.
Not for too long, I believe. So please tell me, as it is still unclear, who planned the murder? Was it you?
You were wrong, Mr. Holmes.
It was Martin Hamish, then. You managed to convince him to take on a more prominent role.
You could not be further from the truth.
You think that you can fool me?
You don't care what I think.
I am not blaming you, Miss White. You are a young and brilliant woman, trapped in a dull and hostile world. Life has never been easy, men in particular.
You... It is hopeless.
Indeed. Well, it may be true that I cannot yet change the world, but I can spare your life.
My life. There is nothing left to save. I have lost everything. Do you hear me? Everything! And you were just like all the others. You would abuse and take advantage of a vulnerable woman.
I hardly think so. Now just listen to me.
I've tried so hard, but I have had enough.
Miss White, no!
뭐야?
I beg you not to do this, Miss White.
Don't come any closer.
자살할 거야 또? 근데 그렇지 마.
Please remain calm. We can help you.
Not one step further. Don't try to stop me.
Stop this foolishness. You cannot truly want to die.
No, it's too late.
아이! 이런 씨. 다시 해야 돼.
This is tragic, Holmes.
아이, 버킹.
I'm afraid not. The poison has been fulgurating. Her heart stopped instantly, poor child.
마가리 사이트가 범인이 맞기는 했구나. 일단 그럼 다른 결론 한번 보고 오시죠. 결론 총 6개라고 했으니까 지금 2개까지 봤고요. 아유, 갑자기 얼굴부터 나오고 있노. 화이트는 무고하고 이번에는 마틴은 단독범도 뜨는구나. 3번째 갑시다. 이거 어차피 답 아니니까 뭘 골라도 상관없구나. 답이 아니라서 다시 돌아올 거기 때문에 어느 게 정의의 편인지 잠깐 헷갈렸어. 하지만 상관이 없죠.
Inspector, the case can be closed. Martin Hamish operated alone. He was meticulous in his planning, down to the smallest detail. And yet, we arrived at the truth.
Well, I must thank you once again, Mr. Holmes. Without you, it would not have been possible.
If pushing a man to his suicide seems fair to you, Lestrade, then we are even.
Mr. Holmes, you did what was needed
To not appear in this inquiry. I thank you for your discretion, Lestrade.
얘는 선택지가 없는데도 불구하고 얘랑 충돌이 난다는 거는 요거는 무조건 이렇게 가는 거네. 다음에 얘도 그러면 어차피 얘도 충돌이 나니까 요것도 안 된다는 거고. 여기서 앨버트
What happened, Inspector?
It's all over now, lad. There is no use denying it. We know that you murdered your father. Patricide by plant poisoning. Very alliterative.
What? You're mad. I didn't do it. I don't know anything about botany. No!
결론 4개까지 찾았고요. 2개를 더 찾아야 되는데 신성 머시기가 엮이는 게 하나가 또 있겠죠? 아니지, 이걸 고를 순 없잖아. 이렇게 해도 충돌이 나고. 신성명회 단독범 아, 이거 선택지 어떻게 조합하지? 아, 둘 다? 이해장 이건 안 되네. 아씨. 결론 개수를 알고 있어도 힘드네. 자치가 6개를 했는데 분명히. What? 어, 잠깐만. 조금 좆된 것 같은데? 공약을 보니까 씨, 얘 체포하기 전에 마가렛 화이트나 알버트가 단독으로 저지른 거를 결론을 미리 찾아야 되는 것 같은데 이게 조금 와씨 잠깐. 이제 체포하러 가기 전에 미리 이걸 했었어야 되나 보다. 아, 그거 나중에 또 다시 이거 해야 되겠네. 아, 좀 화난다. 진짜. 조금 귀찮기는 하겠지만 일단은 뭐 답 찍고 일단은 넘어가야 되는 것 같아요. 그러면 그게 좀 걱정이었네. 이걸로 확정이 되기 전에 얘네를 먼저 찾아야 되는 거, 요거는 어쩔 수 없네요. 젠장.
But Holmes, how... Very good.
I beg you not to do this, Miss White.
Don't come any closer.
Please remain calm. We can help you.
Not one step further. Don't try to stop me.
한 번 더 가고.
Stop this foolishness. You cannot truly want to die.
No, it's too late.
이미 타겟이 잡혀 있어가지고 누르기만 하면 되는 거였네. 아무튼 도전과제 달성했습니다.
Miss White, you have
죽음으로는
no
사죄할
right
수
to take
없다.
your own life.
Dr. Watson? Did you just save me? Or worse?
젠장. 에이, 깜짝이야. 엄격한 재판관. 벌써 9시 반이로구만. 요거는 내일 마무리를 하도록 하겠습니다.
Where are you going, Holmes? Have you been invited somewhere?
We
오프닝까지는
have
또
been
봐야지.
invited, Watson,
We have. Where to?
to the Baker Street Irregulars' annual dinner. They sent us an invitation. It is on the table.
A dinner? How could those street urchins afford anything like that? I can't understand your interest in them, Holmes. They're dirty. They wouldn't hesitate to steal your wallet. They...
Watson, you should be excited. It is a secret dinner. Its location changes every year. Read the menu. Sounds mouth-watering.
All right. We, the secret police of Baker Street,
귀여워.
invite you, Sherlock Holmes, and Dr. Watson to our annual dinner. Menu, entree, frozen rat head salad. Is this a joke?
Not at all. Pray continue.
Main course, sow's udder in Danny Nutcracker's way. Ah, sounds disgusting, Holmes. Hedgehog goulash. Street turnips in homemade juice. And it goes on.
Ah, I can hear them on the stairs now.
Well, we can't go there. We can't eat that.
Watson, you'll hurt the feelings of those poor children. We have to go.
Oh, Mr. Holmes.
It is fine, Mrs. Hudson.
Mr. Holmes!
Wiggins, Dr. Watson is getting ready. He will be delighted to join us. You don't look well, my young man. Is there something wrong? Don't tell me the dinner is cancelled.
Mr. Holmes, it's my brother Leighton. He's in a prison cell. They say he's killed 2 men. You have to help us, Mr. Holmes, because I know he didn't do it.
Where is he now?
From what I've heard, they took him to the yard, and they gave him a good beating already. You know what they're like. They'll hang him. They won't look any further.
Holmes, we have to help him.
Well, and forget about the dinner. Wiggins, I'll take the case.
You're fantastic, Mr. Holmes. I'll be waiting for you at the crime scene. You'll be there, right? It's on Half Moon Street in Whitechapel.
Very well.
댕댕이한테 말 걸면 도전과제가 깨져야겠죠?
Hello, Toby.
나이스.
All you need now is a
도전과제.
shawl and a mock cap, and you could be Mrs. Hudson's younger sister.
아우. 왜 자꾸 나는 이거 눌러보게 되는 걸까? 아무튼 오늘은 여기까지.